Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another Rex Tech Pub on a... I didn't have a phone with me this time. Wednesday, October 22nd, I think. At least that's what the computer says. So how's everybody doing today? I had to wait a couple of seconds to let the train go by because it was blowing its horn like crazy. And I didn't want you guys to hear that, so I had to kill a couple extra seconds to let that train go through. Which only had one cargo thing behind it, so they must just be transporting that to another part of Minnesota. Hello, Chris. Hello, Charlie. Hello, John. No, Ski Man. Hello. Hello, MJ. I don't know how long this live stream's going to be today. I really don't got much to say. Really haven't been doing much except I got called this morning. It was cold. It was cold this morning and windy. I got called out to a work site, and I said, I don't think so. I'm not working out in that cold. Still, it wasn't as cold as it was windy. I mean, it was cold, but the wind was more of a problem than anything. And I said, no, I think I'll just stay home in my nice, cool apartment of 65 degrees. I was not going to go out and work in that. Now I go out today, and of course the wind calmed down and it's hardly doing anything, but he didn't call me back. I'm sure they had it done this morning by about 10 o'clock this morning. They probably had that done. I said, nah. Need to find someone else to do it because I ain't going to. And yes, it is 65 degrees in my apartment. I don't like it when my apartment gets hot, even during the winter. I'd rather have it cold. It's also better for the computers. They're breathing in cold air instead of hot air right off the register. I don't like them doing that, so I keep my heat turned off. Unless it's 20 below and it gets colder than 67 or 66 degrees in here, I'll turn the heat on for maybe 20 minutes to take that little bit of edge of cold off, and then I'll turn it right back off again. So, well, that's why most people in the winter won't come up here because it's too damn cold. It's too cold in your apartment. I have to wear a jacket. Like, well, I'm wearing a jacket, and it's only about 66, 67 degrees. And if I were to take this off, I'd get goosebumps in my arms. It is a little chilly in here, but I like it that way. It's cold in here in the winter, cold in here in the summer. It never is warm in here. And people hate it. They hate coming in here. That's why everybody evaded me. They don't want to come into this cold apartment anymore. One guy said he kept getting sick from coming up to my apartment because it was so cold. And I said, don't come up here anymore. So that's how I got rid of him. I have a note on my door. Unless you like a 66, 67 degree apartment, don't bother walking in here. Everybody stop knocking on my door. Still have maybe a few of the guys coming over at night for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then they just don't like it. It's so cold in here, and they leave. Everybody likes the hot climate. I got reasons why it's cold in here. Yeah, I like the summer heat. I like it when it's 80, 90 degrees, but in my apartment, I want it cold. Cold in the winter, cold in the summer. What are John and Steve Man talking about? Yeah, I just kind of explained that. I have my flannel on. It's kind of chilly in here. I don't like warm apartments. I like it when they're cold. Especially when I have all these computers and everything running in here. And I don't want them getting hot. They wouldn't get that warm, but still. I don't like static electricity either, so heat and cold, nah, I just keep it off. And I got that scorch, whatever it is, that Wendy came down here and sprayed all over my carpet to keep the static electricity down. I don't know what she put on my carpet, but I can touch my microphone now and not get zapped. I hate that. Ouch. It happened the other night. It was cold in here. I came and touched it. Ouch! Dang it, man. That's when I called Wendy and said, do you have that carpet stuff that you can... I said, yeah, I'll be down there in a minute. She sprayed put the stuff in my living room or bedroom and then sprayed it heavily in the living room because I get a lot of traffic in here. And I can touch my mic and not get static shocked. I hate getting static. Ugh. It really bothers me. Yeah, they do, but not much. Especially this one. It's under a, I don't know what you call it. Kind of hidden away. The one in the bedroom's kind of out in the open. And this one here, it's hidden away. It's got a door. To get to it, you have to open the door. I really gotta fix this door. Still haven't fixed it yet because it can't be fixed. I gotta redesign it so I can put some screws into it so that hinge stays tight, and otherwise the bottom hinge, it comes right off the door. And unless I kick it like that and punch the top part of it, then it closes. It sits at an angle because that hinge, I can't get it to adjust. The adjusting screw to it is missing. It's not missing, someone took it. I don't know. I had someone about 6 years ago look at this, and he's taking screws out of it and throwing them away. He said, you don't need that screw, you don't need, it's just that middle one. He turned and someone took that screw and just the two screws that hold it onto the desk itself. And someone took that adjusting screw and they took it out. And the top one I can adjust, but not the bottom one. So I still don't know what to do with this desk. I think it's going to meet its fate one of these days, and I'm probably just going to get rid of it. And it's literally falling apart. The doors are broke. This top hinge door up here with the glass in it, it's busted. This drawer down here, it's busted. So I just have to get on there. Put that on. It kind of just stays there until I take the top drawer, put it open, and then the bottom thing comes off. So I think this thing is garbage. That's what... Stay. That's... I'm just waiting for that to fall. There. That's what everybody's telling me. Is just take this thing outside, set it on fire, and burn it down because it's not worth anything. So that means I have to go and find someone to build me a desk that's more sturdier than this one. It's starting to, it's starting to wobble. The whole thing is starting to wobble. It's getting pretty bad. So I think I'll call Brett up here one of these days. We'll take everything off of here and take it out his place and just put gasoline or some kind of lighter fluid all over it and set it on fire and watch it burn. It's illegal to burn these desks, but I don't care. Let me get arrested for burning it. Oh. No, I don't want Ghetto Billy a desk for me. What he would want, what he thinks I would need is way too small. This here is way too small. I need something another 2 feet longer, and I can't go any, like I said, I can't go any higher in the height because of where the smoke alarms and smoke detector is. They have to be so many feet below that. You can't be up to it or over it. That's illegal. We can't do that here. So I can't go any higher, but I could go longer if I wanted to. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of at a loss. So, hello, MJ. Mega desk. Oh, this isn't a mega desk. It's small compared to what other people look in here and they say, that's a small desk. Huh? This ain't small. Well, compared to mine, it is. Mine's 3 feet longer and 2 feet taller. Yeah, that's because you can have one like that. I'm in this building and we can't have them any longer or any higher than what they say we can. But I asked Kathy about it. She said you could go to another desk that if I slid it over further, I could get another half foot longer, but they don't really recommend it, but I could because they allow it, but they don't think I should. So, oh, hasn't really been any computer work. I've had a few phone calls this morning. Nothing really serious. Some people ask me, oh, I got Windows 11, I've got this, how do I do this, or why would I need to do that? And most people, I'm just rolling my eyes up thinking, oh, if you don't know by that now, you shouldn't be using a computer. I'm kind of fussy about that. I'm like, you drive your car, you gotta know what your engine's doing, gotta know what your transmission is, what directions your engine's rotating compared to your transmission, what are your gears doing. You kind of gotta know that stuff. You kind of feel stupid when a mechanic comes up to you and you're at the side of the road and they'll ask you what's wrong. I don't know. That's a stupid answer to give them. I don't like that answer. I've been with tow trucks drivers. They don't like that answer. We need you to tell us what's wrong. What happened? Well, I don't know. It just died. Wrong answer. Well, I think it's my fuel pump. It was kind of chugging for a while and then it just stopped. There's the answer. Thank you. We hooked him up, took it back. Sure enough, it was his fuel pump. Just kind of gave out on him. The first 2 times he said, I don't know, it just died. It didn't just die. What happened? I don't know, it could be my fuel pump. It was kind of sputtering before it stopped. Then it just died and it won't restart. Like, yeah, sounds like a fuel pump. Yeah, it's kind of rough, but that's how we are up here. We kind of expect you to know what you're doing, what you're driving. Most people don't. But otherwise, it's been kind of a quiet day for me. It's sunny, it's kind of warm, kind of cold. But, I don't know. It's just one of those days I'm just kind of sitting around here waiting for the phone to ring, which I'm sure it will eventually. Four by 2 by 5 feet button of a roll top desk was free. I actually made my sister a roll top desk. You had your main part of your desk, and then the second part you push and it roll back. I was kind of made. I made that in junior high or somewhere around that. It was here in Brainerd when I was at the what is now Franklin Art Center, which back then it was Franklin Junior High. It's now an art center, but that's where I made that desk at. It is long gone since died. I don't know where it went. But I have made desks before, and I could remake this one, but it'd be too costly to do that. Wood around here is really not on the cheap side. So for now, I'm kind of stuck with this desk that's slowly falling apart. I mean, it's not leaning or anything. I got that back board that's about yay thick. You put on the back. It's kind of holding it together, but it's also starting to come apart. It's starting to rip through the nails. And I looked through the back of it yesterday, and it ripped through 2 of the nails because the thing is, especially when I got Bob sitting here and he's got his hand against the desk and putting all his weight, this whole desk it'll just sit here and lean over. And I said, Bob, quit leaning on it. Well, you sit on my shit, lean on my shit, so I'm going to lean on yours. I got off this chair, and the minute I stood up, he went and sat down. I said, I don't want you leaning on this because this thing's bad enough. He said, yeah, okay, whatever. So, yeah, I know that's emissions, all that emissions crap. You know your car would run fine without any of that stuff. But the minute you take it to a shop to get it repaired, they'd look for all that stuff and they'd ask you where'd it go. Well, I took it off there. They'll put it back on there before it leaves because they legally have to. You can't leave their shop without emission stuff on it. Ask me how I know. I was with a guy. He did it. He stripped all that stuff off and it wouldn't run. He was doing something stupid, so he took it to Mills. Mills wouldn't even look at it, work on it, but he kind of forced him to, but they put all the emission stuff back on it. By the time they were done, he was at an over $2,000 bill. Kind of wishes he hadn't done that. It was kind of stupid. They put it all back on there because they legally couldn't let it leave without it on there, so they ordered all the parts he needed and they put it back on there and charged him $2,000 for it. I think it was up to $2,000. Before taxes, it was below $2,000, but after tax, it was $2,031 something. So, yeah, you can take it off there. If you take it to any authorized dealer, they're going to put it right back on. Yeah, that's why I don't like working on these new cars. In fact, I don't. Well, I mean, I work on a few tractors here every once in a while. I'll work on anything. I'm not like Harry Holzman. I just won't stick to computers. That's why he's on a limited income. I work on almost everything. That's why I work on cars, work on boats, work on snowmobiles, throw snow blowers, computers. I just don't stick to one thing. If I can't make money off of another, I'll go to something else and make money. So I'm pretty good at making money all the way around. If I can't make money off of one thing, I'll go do something else. Until the opportunity to go back to what I was doing and I can make money off that, then I'll go back to that, but that's why I never stop making money. I'm always making money. Not every day, but most of the time. Someone will call me. I do housework, not housework like cleaning someone's dishes or whatever, but I'll rip up their floors, rip up their carpet. I don't like painting. I mean, there's 2 or 3 guys that do painting. There's a painting company here in town. You want your living room painted, you call them, they'll come and do it. Or paint it yourself, but I'm not that good at painting. And people can tell when I painted a room, it's the layers of the paint don't look right, and you can see the lines that I don't know how to paint. I was never taught. I don't want to. Painting's messy, it's ugly, it's smelly, no thank you. And people tell me you don't know how to paint anyhow. It's a specialty. You gotta know how to paint. You can't just go and roll things on the wall and call it good. Well, that's what I do. You ain't painting. That's because I don't know how to. So I leave that up to the professionals. The people that have been trained in how to paint a wall. They're the ones that come to do it. In fact, when our apartments were getting fixed after the second flood, the people that came and painted these walls, holy shit. I couldn't believe how they did that. They were just kind of fancy about it. It's like, geez, you guys paint walls a lot different than what I did in 1982. Well, the way we do it differently than what you did it back then. So yeah, I can tell. The way they painted that wall, was bang, bang, boom, done. Like, how'd you guys do that? We were trained. Oh, okay. Think, wow, they got that done quickly, nicely, and yeah. I'd never be able to do what they did. Never. I've never picked up a paintbrush in the last 10 years. People have asked me to paint something. I say, I don't know how to do that. Find someone else to do it. Do you know how to paint metal? Nope. Plastic? Nope. Wood? Nope. Walls? Nope. Ceiling? Nope. Registers? Nope. What do you know how to do in paint? I'd rather not. That's why I never learned how to paint. That's just not something I'm interested in. I mean, I'll do it, but people cuss me out for doing such a horrible job. Well, I told you it would be. I told you it wouldn't look right when I got done with it, but you wouldn't believe me. So I just went and splashed the paint on it, kind of painted it the way I think you do it, and they said no. They had to strip that wall down and repaint it the way they were supposed to do it. And they were asked, "Why'd you ask him to do it?" Because we asked him if he wanted something to do, so you know how to paint? Like, not really, I can guess at it. I'll guess at it, threw me a paintbrush, and yeah, I got my ass chewed afterwards. Yeah, I don't know how to do spray painting either. That takes a special technique. That trigger button, you have to let go of it at the right time. You hold it, and you have to let. I can't do that. And I see them doing that. Hold the button down for a couple seconds, they let go, and then they squeeze. I've tried that before, and I screwed it up so badly. The guy came up to me, stop, stop, stop. He took it from me, and he said, "You're doing this all wrong." I told you I didn't know how to do it. And I saw how he was doing. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. He's very steady at it, too. You can just slowly go across it and just make a nice, steady, thin layer of paint. I wasn't doing it. I was just kind of going like this. He's like, no, 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 no. Yeah, you don't do it that way. It's like, yeah, it's better you guys do it because I don't know how. I'm not a good one to know how to paint. You can paint by numbers, Brian. I can't. Even in grade school, they try to get me to do paint by numbers. I couldn't do it. I can't do paint by numbers because I don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Blue is 2 or what? That makes no sense to me. So in my head, it would rearrange it, and I'd do it differently than what I'm reading. Yeah, you guys can do the painting stuff. I don't like doing it. How you doing, Brian? How is the state of California today? Minnesota's just kind of hanging in there. What was the last time you drove? I'm not licensed to drive a car or truck, but I've driven. I can't get a driver's license through the state of Minnesota because of my eyesight. And the way my eyes are just kind of off tweaked a little bit. They try to do that exam with your eyes, and my eyes don't follow the way they're supposed to. And they said you'd be a hazard out in the road because the way you think where you think you see a car is at, it's not where it's at, and I'd cause an accident. So I can't get a driver's license. But I have still driven. I mean, if I have to, if I get stuck in a position where that vehicle has to go somewhere, someone will throw me the keys and they take it back where it needs to go. I'll get in it, start the damn thing, drive it back to where it's got to go. Someone won't be there to pick me up because I ain't going to walk home. So I'll get on the phone and say, I'm taking this truck and driving it back over to Baxter. You want to meet me over there so I can get a ride home? Which I just did that last week. Someone took one of those box trucks and then it was funny. They didn't have a driver to take it back, so someone threw me the keys and take it back to Baxter. Where in Baxter? Well, I don't know. Just take it back now. Where do I take it in Baxter? That moving place that's right next off to the left of Mills. You can go 2 blocks down and off. Oh, okay, I know where you're talking. So I drove it over there, dropped it off, and gave him the keys. And when it was right behind me, got in the car and she brought me home. So I do if I have to, but I'm not supposed to. But if I get in a position where I have to, then yeah, I will. Never gotten caught yet. That's why I don't do it every day. I wait a couple of months, and then if someone wants me to drive something somewhere, I will do it. But I'm just sitting here like nervous as heck because I get pulled over. And I'll say, where's your driver's registration? Oh, Rick, you don't have a driver's. What are you doing driving a truck? Well, I got asked to hop down. Yeah, I'll get arrested. Hasn't happened yet. Yet being the key word. That's why I don't do it every day. Yep. I drove a box truck unlicensed. I kind of had to because it had to be taken back to where it needed to go. No one else would do it, so they threw me the keys and said, "You take it back." I don't have a license. We don't care. All right, fine. So I called Winter. She came up and she just followed me over there. I've driven dump trucks, buses, um, I've operated excavators, loaders. Yeah, I've done it all. And I've also worked on all of them too. I helped the guy a couple of years ago rebuild his excavator engine, which was not an easy task, but we did. And about a month later, we had it built and we had it running in about a week after that. Yeah, I was asked to change a tire in a loader a couple of months ago, and I said, no, 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 no. Now, I might be stupid, but I'm not that dumb. So I told him no, because if I make a mistake and that thing falls over on me, I'm dead and gone. I said, yeah, good point. But he was having problems finding someone that had a one of those uh, loaders that have the things that can hold the tires. It'll pick the tire up and put it on the truck. And they couldn't find me, and they said, just take the thing. No. I'll be a dead bunny by the time I get done with that. And I said, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Well, then what'd you ask me for? Well, I don't know. I thought you could. I thought you had one of those guys that had one of those things that can take the tire off. I'm like, no, I don't know anybody. Oh, okay. I guess the guy found someone from down south, but he paid thousands and thousands of dollars to get that tire changed because he had to come up all the way from Minnesota, bottom part of Minnesota. I think they're originally from St. Cloud, and what they were doing in the bottom part of Minnesota, I don't know, but they had to come from there all the way up to Brainerd. They charged them for every single mile. They changed his tire, put the new tire rim, and he won't do that again. Way too expensive. you you miss your trunk, huh? Okay. I guess you're still playing with toys, huh? Hmm. Yeah, 50-foot truck, yeah. Well, I helped a guy also last year on the other side of town. I helped the guy take the box off the truck. He was just sitting there and he was saying he was going to take the box off that thing one of these days. Says, you want help with that? I said, yeah, if you want to stick around and help me with it, you can. And 3 hours later, we had it off there. Wasn't that hard. Telehandler, I've run one of those things. They're kind of fun. I don't know. I hope this winter I get to play with a few toys this winter. Oh, my friend gets a snowmobile running. So I can go running across Gull Lake at 100 some miles an hour. I haven't done that in a long time. I've been kind of itching wanting to do that again. Going across Gull Lake at 102 miles an hour. That is fun. You freeze your ass off, but it's fun. Skis never barely touch the ground. You're just kind of just sitting there skipping the ground a little bit. You're doing it at 102 miles an hour. Skis just kind of hover above the ground, but they're just kind of doing this, but they never really contact the ground. There's so much torque in the track that it just kind of picks up the front of the snowmobile and you just flying at 100. It's scary, but you make one mistake and you're just instantly up in the air. You just you barrel roll it, you'll get killed. That's what they warned me about. They say you go too fast with things, you get into a wreck, you're dead. So be very careful. Make sure you keep it balanced. Yeah, you gotta keep it balanced. You just You can so easily, and I've seen guys do it. It is so easily wreck those things. But that guy lived because he saw it was starting to do this and it was just gonna flip up on him. He just let it go and he went that way. The snowmobile went up and did flip somersaults. Came back down, blew up into a million pieces, and he got sent to the hospital with a bunch of bumps and bruises, but he was fine. And I can see how fast that can go dangerously wrong. You hit the wrong bump at the wrong angle, and just you're done. Unless you learn how to let go of it quick enough, and that's what he did, because he knew the thing was going to come back on him, so he just let go of it, and sure enough, it did. Went up, came back at him, just real somersaulted back towards him, and crashed and caught on fire, and that was it. Hey, Darren. Talk trucks. Yeah, I never got the luxury of playing with stuff like that. My parents wouldn't let us. We were brought up into the working world at the age of 5. So we never did get to have the luxury of playing like normal kids do. We had to work. Which kind of sucked. We didn't really have summers. Either working out in the garden or mowing yards or doing something. We just didn't have a summer where we got to sit and relax. We had to work all summer. If you want to do things, you got to make your own money. Okay. Yeah, ever since I think I started working when I was 12. When I was 14, I started driving vehicles. Because we lived out in the country. Nobody's going to carry you. I live out in the country. That's kind of how I learned to drive. Even though my eyeballs were doing this, I had to turn my head like this so I could see straight. I had to sit sideways in the vehicle or the tractor. I turned the seat and I turned it sideways so I could see straight, but sitting this way. This eye was staring out the windshield, but I had to literally sit sideways so this eye could see down the road. It was crazy how I did it, but what was it, 2 years ago? I had that eye surgery and they pulled them back together. So this one is starting to wander again. I could tell because I'm starting to see my drapes when I shouldn't be seeing my webcam. I'm seeing my drapes. And I shouldn't. This eye is starting to wander again. So I gotta go maybe have that surgery again. But I don't know. I gotta talk them into it and talk insurance into it. Get that insurance, get the eye surgery done again. Because it's starting to wander. A snowmobile accident? Well, I didn't have one, but I know plenty of people that have. All the things you've lost, you missed your mind. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I don't have a mind. I don't think for myself, so my mind is just kind of gone. Don't know how to do anything in the world. You gotta have a mind to do that. I don't have one. And that was statistically proven by Social Security. The doctors that do that testing for Social Security, they've got that. They kind of said the same thing. Your mind is kind of there, but it really isn't. California is broken off. If you're still talking to me, I don't think it's broken off yet. And I seriously doubt that'll ever happen, but there are still world analysts out there that still say that someday California will drop off into it. I don't see how that can happen. An earthquake I don't think can cause that to happen, even though the border of California, that's where the fault is. I still don't think that can happen. I really don't. I think sections of it can kind of collapse, But I don't think the whole state as a whole will fall into. I don't think that'll happen. I think sections of it will collapse, but I don't think the whole thing will disappear. I just don't think that's physically possible. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's possible. Everybody keeps telling me that California is going to disappear. I doubt it. I think maybe small sections of it might crumble to pieces, but the entire state as a whole, the fall, that's not possible. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking, but I just don't see that being possible. But maybe it can. I kind of doubt it though. No. Yeah, I couldn't quite understand what you're saying there, Ski Man. You said a snowmobile accident. I was trying to figure why you saying that, and I read above it. That's what killed Ken Block, famous race drifter, awesome drifter. Killed him in a snowmobile accident. Yeah, those things are dangerous. You're at high speeds like that. I mean, very high speeds of 200 plus miles. You make one small mistake, boom, your life is over. Within seconds, you're gone. That's why I never got into the sports like that. I was asked to. You get into snowmobile racing into 205, 200. No. You make one mistake, even though you got all that head protection and the whatever, the neck thing, and you're all protected, you can still get killed. And I said, no, I'd rather not. The speed would be nice, but yeah, you make one mistake, the smallest mistake, and it's over with. I don't think so. I've seen people do that on boats out on Gull Lake. That was when I was just in my 20s. We were out there and we saw a boat doing he was souped up. I don't know what this guy did, but he was at 100 some miles an hour and he was going so fast. He didn't see these two small boats sitting there, and he was in an area. He'd crossed the line where he was supposed to be, and he didn't get back over far enough. He saw those two boats. Well, he was sitting kind of level, and he turned so sharp that his boat went up on edge, and then it just kind of went over, and boom, 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 boom. He just somersaulted in the water, like, oh my God. And I witnessed that. I was like 16 years old, I think, and I witnessed that boat just somersaulting in the water, like, oh my God. Oh. And two guys in the small, I think they all survived, but I think the guy in the race boat was seriously injured. I think he spent a long time in the hospital. I still have that in my head, seeing that boat somersaulting like it was. It was horrifying. But he saw the two boats and he tried missing them, except he went up onto a side and then it just kind of took over and boom, boom, boom. It was ugly. That was the last boat racing event I had out there. I haven't had one since that incident. Goes through the governor's mansion. Where are we at? Well, we're at 2:39 already, guys. He didn't tell me I was 2:30. I gotta get going here. It's been fun talking to you guys, though, but I gotta keep this down to a half hour because I really don't like going any longer than that. Yeah, John Denver passed away in a plane accident. No, John Denver was killed in a plane accident. They crashed it into a mountain. I don't think it was on purpose. I think something went wrong with their plane. They couldn't keep control of it, so they just kind of went sideways and drove it into a mountain. I don't think that's what they wanted to do. I think something went wrong with their plane or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's 2:40. I gotta get going, guys. But it has been fun. God, I just lost what day it is. It is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. I will have a live stream tomorrow. I'm trying to catch up on some of the Microsoft stuff. It's slowly rolling in. I'm watching a few channels, so tomorrow we'll talk more Microsoft stuff and try to keep this more business oriented instead of talking about nothing. But to Brian, Lightfoot, Ski Man, MJ, Ken Stout, Darren. I think I got everybody. I don't have too many people here today. It just looks like I do because you guys kept talking, which is good. Brian and you guys, I'll see you all tonight on Ken's. John, Ski Man, MJ. I'll see you guys all tonight on the live stream, and then see the rest of the guys later tonight on Zoom. But it's been fun talking to you guys. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now. Today is the day before tomorrow or the day after yesterday. Brian, I'll catch you later.